The most exciting challenge, I think, to ever reach the world of darts is happening. It's right here. The 501 challenge against Luke Littler. One leg against the world number one. And you'll see pretty much nationwide, the news articles and outlets are talking about this one. And why not? Yes, it's only one leg of darts. But this prize fund, £501,000, is only bettered by the world champion. Only the world champion will earn on one event more than this, and you've only got to win one leg. But is it possible? Is it going to happen? I wanted to apply. I went on to apply. I had a look. But this one right here with the asterisks ruled me out. You need to confirm that you are not currently and have never previously been a Professional Darts Corporation, PDC, tour card holder. So any person who's held a tour card since the tour card was incepted in 2011 is frozen out of this process. Now, that doesn't include anything else like WDF or Challenge Tour players or anything like this. It doesn't include out PDPA affiliate players, which are your Challenge Tours, just tour card holders. So it got me thinking, first of all, who would be able to do this? You could have the likes of Derek Coulson. You could have the likes of Joe Hunt, currently top of the Challenge Tour Order of Merit. There's some really good quality players out there that haven't had tour cards yet, who could be a real danger to this. And I know what you're saying, like, could Derek Coulson beat Luke Littler? Probably not. Could Derek Coulson beat Luke Littler in one leg? Absolutely. And I think this challenge is going to get beaten. Now, I've seen some conversations. You shouldn't apply for this if you don't average 90. You shouldn't apply for this if you're not to this level. Stats are a very long-term thing, and these are the only stats that you need to be aware of. If you can average these numbers, you've got a chance. 125.5, 100.20, 83.50, and 71.54. These are the key numbers, and I'll tell you why in a second. And I'll tell you why that relates to Luke Littler. So if you can average those, get applying. You can average them sort of regularly. This is why. So in your blue down the side here, this is how many darts it takes you to hit that average. And on your right hand side in red is how many visits to the board that you will need to complete. So if you average 93, that takes you 16 darts. And if you average 83, that takes you 18 darts, but you are still within the red number, 6 visits to the board. The 93 or the 83 is completely irrelevant in a single leg match. Same with the 100. It doesn't matter if you average 100 or 108 or 110 or whatever that number is. If you go over the 4 visits, you're in the 5 visit block, you need up to 15 darts. So that's just the maths and the numbers. Obviously, we've got things like pressure and all those extra factors coming into play as well that can affect it. But what does this relate to in relation to Luke Littler? How likely are you to get a 4 visit leg, a 5 visit leg in regards to going head to head with Luke? So here's how it stacks up. 42.52%. That's your chance that you are going to get more than 5 visits to the board. That's because Luke Littler is going out in 5 visits more than half the time. 57.48% of his legs over the last 12 months have seen Luke Littler out in that 100.20 or less. So if you average 100.20 in your one leg of darts against Luke Littler, you will have just a 42% chance of beating him. That is crazy, isn't it, to think about? And that's over 12 months. Let me just add something in here for you. Over the last 6 months, that's increased to 59.44%. So you now down to 40.56% chance of getting more darts than 15 darts to the board. And that also is including you throw first. Now, I'd expect in this sort of challenge that you'd get the throw, but there may be a bull up. It may even be a case that Luke Littler gets to throw first. If that is the case, and he is going out nearly 60% of the time in 15 darts or less, likelihood is you're going to have to hit a 12 dart leg to have that 40% chance. for 500,000. You see how this is getting tricky. The numbers are backing it up that it's going to be hard, but there's that opportunity. There's still quite decent chances for this level of 500,000 quid. Think about what your chances of winning that on like a lottery. You're talking like 0 point something of a percent. This is actually quite decent numbers. But the numbers get worse. If you think you're going to get more opportunities, if you think you may miss chances, Luke Littler only goes over 18 darts 15.38% of the time. So around about 85% of Luke Littler's matches, he is out in 6 visits or less. Little sidebar story here for you. Gerwyn Price is actually better than that. Gerwyn Price 14.47% of the time, less than 18 darts. So Price more consistent than Littler in that category. Not many others though. So going back. So now we know the numbers, what we expect Luke Littler to do. We'll bring it back here to bring these to life. Now we know the other side of the story. 7 visits to the board. If you can average 71 or above, 21 darts maximum. It's not looking good. Even if you've got the throw, Luke Littler only going over 18 darts 15% of the time doesn't give you much hope in regards to that. So you've got maybe a 15% chance of winning should you be averaging 71.57 or more. It obviously increases the higher you go. So if you're looking at 6 visits to the board, we now know that Luke Littler goes out at the moment 59.44% at 15 darts or less. So you've got about a 40% chance if you're averaging around the 83 mark. Those numbers get significantly better as we go up. So do I think it will be beaten? I think it's 20 players taking part. I think it could. There's enough quality out there. Here's the averages of players on the Challenge Tour right now. And look, 83 up. We've got 97 players that are able to do that. Now, some of these can't do it. The likes of Brett Claydon, because he's had a tour card. The likes of Aaron Monk, because he's had a tour card. But there are players up towards the top end of these averages that haven't. Jack Aldridge, never been a tour card holder. Derek Coulson, never been a tour card holder. These guys are averaging in the 90s at the moment, so they're consistent up towards that top end. Let's not also forget youth players able to do this. Some great 16-year-olds out there. Kaya Beisel, Archie Self, Mitchell Lorry would be eligible to take part in this. It'll be interesting to see what they do come forward with. Be interesting to see if this is selected in a certain way or if any of these players get an opportunity. This is a life-changing amount of money and a life-changing opportunity. And depending on the players they pick, this could get taken down, not just once, but multiple times. What do you think?